Government has called on the US to provide a formal response to its trade offer and has requested a 90-day extension to negotiate a new trade deal. That's after American President Donald Trump announced that imports from South Africa would be subject to new 30% tariffs. And this will come into effect from the 1st of August. A statement from the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition says that it's seeking an urgent meeting with the team from the US to understand the decision, especially as it hasn't had feedback on the trade deal it presented to the Oval Office in May. Electricity and Energy Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa has begun the process to appoint a new ESCOM board. That's as the term of the current board is set to expire at the end of September. A report from Business Day says that Ramokgopa would prefer to keep the majority of the current leadership, as this will ensure stability, while a few additions will allow for new ideas to be brought to the table. Discovery Health has criticized the Section 59 inquiry. The firm says the panel's conclusions are flawed and overly simplistic, and so it rejects its findings. The inquiry found that the systems used by South Africa's three biggest administrators, of which Discovery is one, were procedurally unfair and disproportionately penalized black healthcare professionals. The availability of illegal cigarettes in South Africa has become endemic. That's according to British American Tobacco. In a new study by Ipsos, which was commissioned and paid for by BAT, it shows that nearly 8 in 10 retailers are selling illicit cigarettes. This is triple the number reported 3 years ago. Not only is this hurting the company's bottom line, but the country's fiscus as well. The study has revealed that the illegal cigarette trade costs around 28 billion rand in lost revenue a year. Standard Bank is one of the biggest financiers of government and state-owned companies, and Moody's has flagged this as a risk. The ratings agency says the group's high exposure to domestic sovereign debt makes the company's credit profile interlinked with that of the state. The lender has about 272 billion rand exposure directly and indirectly to South Africa's debt pile. Shares in furniture group Lewis have surged by more than 440% over the past 5 years. This has added 3.4 billion rand to the group's market value. The rally reflects a strong post-COVID-19 recovery and sustained demand for credit-driven furniture retail. Lewis has outperformed several competitors during the period, such as Pepkor, Mr. Price and TFG. Further afield, Shion has filed for an IPO in Hong Kong. This is in an effort to accelerate the listing process and pressure Britain's regulators to approve its planned London debut. Here's more detail in this package report.
Fast fashion retailer Shion has filed for an IPO in Hong Kong. The aim is to speed up the listing process and pressure British regulators to approve its planned London debut. That's according to Britain's Financial Times on Tuesday. The report said the China-founded firm privately filed a draft prospectus last week with Hong Kong's exchange. It also reportedly sought a regulatory agreement from Chinese financial regulators. The FT further said Shion filed for a Hong Kong listing partly to pressure UK decision-makers into easing its risk disclosure rules. That as it wants to keep alive what could be London's biggest IPO in years. Reuters first reported in June that Shion was planning to file a draft prospectus confidentially for its Hong Kong listing, citing sources. Shion did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for comment. UK regulators also didn't immediately respond to a request for comment.
And Porsche said its sales fell in the first half of the year. The German luxury sports car maker attributed challenging market conditions and intense competition for a 28% slump in the Chinese market, weighing on the performance. Here's more detail.
German luxury sports car maker Porsche said sales fell in the first half of the year. It blamed challenging market conditions and intense competition for a 28% slump in the Chinese market. Sales at the carmaker fell 6% globally and it delivered more than 146,000 vehicles worldwide. North America proved to be a bright spot as sales grew by a tenth. Porsche's deliveries of electric vehicles also went up over 14% in the first half from a year earlier. The carmaker said 36% of the vehicles delivered were electrified. Uncertain times continue for global car makers. Mercedes-Benz said its second quarter unit sales of cars and vans fell 9%. The German giant blamed the impact of tariffs.